brothers, sisters, friends, family, tribes of Yisrael, people of the kingdom, those who love the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator, those who love our Messiah, Yahushua. I have huge greets for all of you. Shouts out to all of you guys. It is a good time when I can hang out with you guys. It is a fun time when we can read scriptures together. And it's one of these things it's 100% spontaneous. I have no idea what's ever going to come out as we are chit-chatting, because that's literally what I do. We just fire this thing up and I just start chit-chatting, and whatever comes. And so we're literally having a discussion as if you guys were sitting right next to me, and I'm sitting here just rambling on and I won't shut up. But you know what? I am trying to keep us all on topic when I do this, and the topic and the theme of everything with this channel is always going to be the same thing. It's going to be a heralding to a way that's different than most of us are used to. And the only education that I have when it comes to this is the scriptures themselves. And when you read them as a technical manual for life, very slowly, understanding that what we've been taught about their value being nothing is actually quite the opposite. And as you start reading through these beautiful ways and these beautiful laws and these beautiful precepts and these beautiful instructions, that all of a sudden things get real. You start to realize that, hey, you know what? We weren't just some kicked off to the curb into the middle of a spinning ball in the middle of galaxies. We were actually created entities on a flat plains with a firmament above us, with an ecosystem that can sustain us, with skin that's not like a sponge that if we get into a pool, we drown. We have everything at our disposal. The lands have been given to us. The animals are subjected to us. The greatest place that a human could ever have is the ecosystem that people call Earth. And this was given to us by our Creator. And He has taken each one of us, where our souls came from, where our souls were born, when that was born, I have no idea. But I believe that before our souls were tossed into these bodies, that our Creator knows exactly who we are, and He designed us, and that He can design each one of us in such a magnificent form that we're so unique, right? Everybody's unique here and there. Some people, big ears and big nose, big toes, big arms, big elbows. Things are just different, right? And nobody's the same. Can you imagine a world that we were all just like NPCs? That's the gamers term for non-playable character. Somebody just sits there and waves, and that's all their job is in the game, is just to wave, and they don't do anything more. And so, guys, we're not created as NPCs. That's the thing, is we have been created with such an amazing mind. And I will tell you some of the cool stuff I'm working on right now. And I know a lot of you guys out there are very, very, very much tripped up over AI. A lot of people think this is the end of the end, and very much there's a lot of aspects of the end, and technology always has something to do with it. But if you believe that AI is the entities or some sort of demons or some sort of like spiritual force, it's not. What it is a giant, large set of data that is fed into what they call a neural network, into a neural link network that is an artificial intelligence brain. And that brain is able to decipher if a cat is a cat and a dog's a dog and all of these other things. And it is actually very, very intricate. It is very, very complex, but it is all software code. It is things that man have made that coded up, and it's not the entities of darkness. Is AI nefarious? Absolutely. Anything with technology in the aspects that they're trying to use it is a dangerous thing. It's all dangerous. But so are the end times. So are the world that we are living into. When you look at things like our food supply, what's being dropped over our heads, the environment that's all around us. They've engineered everything to make us very, very sick. And so I'm getting way off in the weeds, but going back to this artificial neural network and the complexity of it, as I'm studying and as I'm bringing some of these databases to life, it's not even a database. They're not really, they're LLMs is what they're called, large language models. And as I am looking at them and observing them, and just last week, there's an AI system that came out of China that basically decimated all this chat GPT, all this AI stuff that they spent all this money that they've spent tremendous amounts of resources, and Donald Trump going into this $500 billion Stargate thing with all the AI. This little guy, this little tiny, is like 4 or 5 guys over in China, put out a mathematical AI open source, which means all of the code is available for everybody to look at and inspect, along with large language models all the way down from the bottom to the top. Now, I'm telling you this because I don't think people should fear the AI stuff. The AI governance is coming, right? Expect a world where they get rid of a tremendous amount of jobs. We're already here. We're already there. They have already done that. They've been doing this. And as this technology gets better, people are going to have a very, very hard time adapting. But there's nothing that can be done, and it's not the demons that are doing it. So I go through all of this because as I was watching these AI training modules of how basically an AI can try to figure out what the number 3 is, or number 5, or just a handwritten number where every single one of them are different. And they were comparing it to the human brain, to where the human brain can see 15 different variations of the number 5, right? All in different ways. You know, everybody writes a 5 a little bit different, and the human mind instantly picks that up. And they were talking about how amazing the human brain is compared to the world of AI that we are in. And they're never going to be able to match the human brain. The things that we can do, the power of our neurons, the way that we can formulate thought, the way we can formulate action, they're never ever going to be able to duplicate the work of our Creator. But we are in these crazy times, right? We are in the age of knowledge. We are at the end of some 6,000 years where it's very, very close. Messiah's on his way back. So expect this kind of craziness and this kind of madness, because there has to be a crescendo. There has to be a topping. There has to be going over the mountain. There has to be that point when our Creator goes, this is enough. I've seen enough. There's not going to be any flesh left if our Messiah does not come back and deal with all this madness. So that's where we're at, right? And so we are to a point where we can understand that what we have been given with every breath that we have is this gift from the Almighty. It is in our behest, I just can't even spin that out. Benefit. How do I say that? Behest, benefit. I don't even know if that's right. It is in our benefit to get with our Creator, align our lives, our cycles, our world, our families, our desires to the Scriptures. And how do we do that? Well, number one, we start reading about it. We start caring about it. You start looking from page 1, and you read the Torah at least 5 times. You read it 5 times slowly. If you have a family, read it as a family at night. That's an absolute. Make sure you guys are always getting everybody, break them off their TVs, break them out of whatever cool stuff they're doing. Bring everybody to the living room, and everybody have a family time, and you guys read through a chapter a night and see exactly what that does. Start off with some prayers, read your scriptures, pray as you guys go to bed, give everybody a hug, and send everybody off. It will be a good system and a good pattern. So that's how we align ourselves with the kingdom, right? We care about His laws, statutes, and commandments. And then what we do is we continue on in this path, and we look and we benefit the kingdom. The kingdom must be part of our beneficial workings of our day-to-day lives. Are we loving our neighbor as ourselves? Are we doing the work of our Creator? Or are we doing something else? So let's get into it, guys. I've already rambled way too much as it is. Look at that. 9 minutes in. I am so rambling here. But you guys hopefully learn something. Don't fear this stuff. Just watch, because our Messiah is probably on his way soon. Okay, this takes me into Yah Scriptures. And guys, Yah Scriptures is available free of charge. You guys can go to yahscriptures.com and you can download. We are in the book of Khalidi, the book of the Nazarene. And this is the big blue book that we were just looking at for the 9 minute ramble. This is what the inside of that book looks like. These are all the books with their Hebrew names as well as their English names, and also all of the Apocrypha. And so you will find in this book 103 books. And these right here, this is the real meat and potatoes of this particular book, because these are all the books that the people, the powers that be, did not want you to ever see. And why they've been ripped out of scriptures, why they were in the canon before, they were actually in the scriptures before. Throughout time, lots of different people, all times, were sniping books here and there. Catholics were sniping some, Protestants were sniping some. It didn't jive with what everybody thought. And it definitely doesn't jive with the whole round earth and NASA spin all the time, right? And so these are the Apocrypha. And so from here, this is a free program that you guys, anybody that has a Google tablet, Google phone, anything that is Google, you can download this at yahscriptures.com under the downloads. And we don't sell this, it's absolutely free, but if we did, it would be worth a lot, because it is an amazing book. And I've paid a lot more for stuff far less, and this has a Paleo Hebrew. So here we are, last book of Yah Scriptures, and this, we finally made it. I don't know how many verses this one has. 15 has 45. All right, I think we can do this in a month. Let us begin. Messiah's walking with his people. We're walking throughout the little towns, the little places in Yisrael back in the day. And we're going to see what's happening and hear Messiah, what he has to say. Taking only the 12 emissaries and a few women who were also followers, Yahushua set out for Caesarea Philippos, a city renamed by the Tetrarch Philippos when seeking Roman patronage. Excuse me. One eventide, while on the way, Yahushua said to the 12, "Who do the people in the places we pass through think I am?" They were not agreed. Some say the people believed him to be the deliverer, and some the enlightener. Others said the people believed him to be Hamashiach, while some said that many thought he was Yochanan of the wilderness, for sometimes it seemed his Ruach had entered Yahushua. Okay, this is very interesting stuff. So Messiah is sitting here just trying to fish for stuff, common talk. He's like, who do the people think I am? And at the time, the people didn't know. The people were looking for an enlightener, somebody they called the enlightener. They were also looking for the deliverer, and they're also looking for the Savior, because all throughout Scriptures, and especially in the Apocrypha, our Messiah is prophesied, right? When our tribes of Yisrael back in the day, when our Creator divorced the 10 tribes of Yisrael, he literally said they're divorced. And in Torah, when you're divorced from somebody, if you've given them a writ of divorcement, you don't go back to them. It's over. It's the same with adultery. If somebody's in adultery, you don't go back to that spouse. It's just a game over thing. And so I had lost track on that one. Sorry, guys. Continuing on through this, they're just trying to figure out he's just trying to figure out who they say he is. Yahushua 3. Yahushua said, "Who do you think I am?" Again, they were not agreed. And Yahushua said, "I am he whom all men need, whomever they seek. Call a thing by 100 names and it remains the same. However, each of you keep your own conception in your heart and discuss it with no one." So there's that's an interesting stuff from our Messiah. Call a thing by 100 names and it remains the same. That could definitely be, for those, everybody knows who Jesus is. We were all programmed into Jesus. Everybody, Messiah is not going to turn away from somebody that says Jesus if these people are law keepers. If these people obey the laws, statutes, and commandments, the 158 commandments that we have, and somebody says Jesus, he's going to turn back. He's going to say, "Hi, what's up? How are you? Welcome in." And then he's going to say, "Hey, by the way, there were no J's in Hebrew. My name is Yahushua. It's good to meet you, Ben, Paul, Tommy, whatever," right? So it's not a name thing. And I think that's very, very interesting, because there are a tremendous amount of people that have a lot of different names for our Messiah. And he's still our Messiah, and he will always be our Messiah, but he's not going to be the Messiah for those who are unwilling to walk out of their sins. For those that have no Torah, they have no value on the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator. Matthew 7 very clearly says, "Depart from me, you who work lawlessness." You who do not have the Torah are sent away on that day of judgment. And so, very interesting what Messiah says here. 5. Later at a house at Balos, they were discussing the people's expectations for Hamashiach. And Yahudah said to Yahushua, "If you are truly he, then the people will believe and follow you. For the Nebuoth in the Kodesh books must be fulfilled. He will surely come, and I believe you are he. I believe the reborn world is at hand, and the day of the people's salvation is near." Now, this is very interesting because we don't have any other understanding that this is nobody other than Iscariot, Judas, the bad guy, right? The villain of this, of the entire part of this. It's interesting that he says this, right? He says that he thinks that's him, but yet whatever devils and demons gets into this dude very, very shortly, he decides that whatever he thought at this point is not true, or he's a liar at this point, and he really doesn't. He's just sitting here, pretending that Messiah is the one. So interesting stuff. We don't have a lot of stuff. We can only kind of address the stuff. 6. Yochanan said, "It is foreordained that Hamashiach will suffer death by violence, but will rise triumphant above it, to manifest again as proof that death is not the destined end." 7. Yahushua said, "Perhaps I am Hamashiach, for will he not be all things to all men?" Very important stuff, right? And this is a big testament to our Messiah, to our Mashiach, to our Christos, is that we know he has a lot of qualities, and he knows that he's not just he's fulfills a lot of things, right? At the end of the day, number one, he's your friend. He's also your Messiah. He's your high priest. He's your sacrifice. He is our example. He is the ruler of the Torah of his father. He will be the ruler of the kingdom to come. He's the one that has the keys to life and death, right? It is by his sacrifice and by his perfect death that the spiritual Torah, the parts of the spiritual Torah, which is the curse of the Torah, which all of us fall under, we would never ever be able to have what we need right now, and our Messiah fills all of this stuff. And so, interesting stuff, right? Let's continue on. Kepha said, Peter 8, Kepha said, "Adonai, we are your friends, and you are our guiding light, the hope of our lives. Do not say such things, for we cannot bear to lose you." Yahushua answered, "I must bear the stake of Kai, which is life, and on me it lies more heavily than on others. Each must do whatever he may be called upon to do, and great causes demand great deeds and sacrifices." So this is a huge thing, right? This is what the cross is a pagan thing. It always has been a pagan thing. That's why you want a translation that actually says stake, because it was more like a cross beam perhaps, but it was definitely a stake is how the Romans would do this thing. But you have Kepha, who's always trying to defend our Messiah, which is an amazing thing to do, right? But Kepha doesn't want to lose him. Messiah knows what he has to do. It lies more heavily than on others, right? Any one of us can take a shot. Any one of us can can die. Any one of us can lose our last breath. But when Messiah takes his last breath, it's going to be at the hand of the perpetrators who are torturing him to a very bloody death. And so without our Messiah, without his resolve, without his dad's commands for him to have to do this, we're doomed. We're not making it. It's not looking good for us. We need something more. We need our Messiah. And so Messiah knew this. He knew all this. And it's crazy, hearing him speak like this. 10. Then he said to Kepha, "Do not be so blinded by worldliness that you cannot believe the Ruach can rise above the claims of the flesh. If you are, then it would be better for you to come no further." Tough stuff for Kepha, right? Tough stuff for us. Okay, same word that went to Kepha is Peter is the same one that comes to us. Don't be so blinded by worldliness that you cannot believe the Ruach can rise above the claims of the flesh, right? We live in a physical world with a spiritual attribute to everything that goes on. What happens above happens below. And that's the motto of the occultists, as above, so below, because they know that there's a spiritual realm where a lot of stuff happened. And we need to understand that there are messengers that have probably saved our lives more times than we ever know from darkness or doom or things that are in that spiritual field and places we've been. And so our Creator's great. Our Creator is amazing. The stuff He creates, the way He builds stuff, the protection He gives us. It is very honorable to fight on the Team Yahuwah and Team Yahushua. It is an amazing team with amazing power. It would be ridiculous, to go against the biggest dog in the field. It's not a good idea. Continuing on, and I might have gone too far. Nope, 21, we did it. Okay, 11. To the others he said, do not view these things as men do, but see them through the eyes of Yahuwah. Very important things, right? The kingdom realm is not as the humans know things and as we understand things. It's going to be a lot different. Pray that we can all be accepted into this kingdom. We are found worthy at this. And it looks like Messiah is going into this big thing. And at this point, I think I'm going to roll through this, guys. I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. I hope your week is absolutely rocking and rolling. I hope you guys are just really doing well. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this. I guess let's end right here on Deuteronomy 6:4-9, and it's actually a command. It's Shema, O Yisrael, and it's actually not just here. It's actually hear and obey. And guys, all of us could be considered Yisrael if you are willing to obey the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator, which are beautiful, good, fully amazing for this time, for this generation, for all generations, for all times after these generations. It's really, really good. Well, this is for you. If you want to be a part of Yisrael, then these are the words to you. Yahuwah our Elohim. Yahuwah is one. And you shall love Yahuwah your Elohim with all your heart, and with all your being, and with all your might. And these words which I am commanding you today shall be in your heart, and you shall impress them upon your children, and shall speak of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up, and shall bind them as a sign upon your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Now, guys, does anywhere in here ever sound like the laws, statutes, and commandments of what He's commanding us today are somehow tossed in the trash, nailed to the cross, put upon Messiah? People literally say Jesus died to fulfill the law. So the law doesn't have to be followed anymore, so we can just be raging rebels of sin, just sin-filled raging rebels, willing to do anything, right? Nope, that's not us, guys. The kingdom people, we love Torah commands, and these are Torah commands, right? I've zipped through these before, so let's just do the wheel of commands, and let's start right here. Keep the feast of Sukkot. These are beautiful, beautiful commands, right? If you blaspheme the name of Yahuwah, you shall be put to death. Hollywood should be literally put to death. They have this and all these kind of things. In fact, blaspheming the name of Yahuwah is simply taking the name of Yahuwah out of your scriptures. If you have if the scriptures that has the word God or Lord and all these pagan things, it's time to get rid of these. It's time to get rid of the pagan influenced scriptures that we have and get back to as close to the possible way as we can. Repay injury for injury, honor the Jubilee, the Yovel, a year. Confess our sins to Yahuwah and repay who we've trespassed against. Think about that. Telling Yahuwah, you know what, we've kept anger in our hearts. We've done this evil stuff for all these years. You know what? I know we're the people of the kingdom are very different people, right? We've figured out our issues. We're dealing with them, and we are repaying those we trespassed against. So, guys, these are all great laws. These are all the amazing laws that all of us can keep today. We love Yahweh with all our heart. We can not tempt him. We can do what is right and good in the sight of Yahweh, right? We don't want to be doing what is right and good in the sight of Paul, right? Paul would never ever say it's okay to eat pig. He would never ever say that. I promise you, on everything that I have, Paul would never ever ever let you sit across the table and eat pig. And he would not say, "Oh, don't judge them on what they eat and stuff." He would say, "Turn from your wicked ways, guys. You've totally misunderstood me. This is not what I'm saying." So, guys, with that, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Much love to all of you. I'm out.